Mrs. K gets on with an incredible opening statement, at least for the first like 15, 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Like when she goes, bang,
Mm-hmm.
she's telling the story of what happened that day. It got all of our attention in court. Unfortunately, I happened to be looking down, taking notes right when she did that, and I didn't get to see the jury's reaction.
Mm-hmm.
But I guarantee you I was paying attention to the jury after that, and they were on the edge of their seat for about 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And then she started to lose some of them, and she started to drift off a little bit.
Okay.
And let's see, how long did she go? Let's see. So she started at 10:20 with her opening statement, describing the shooting in Gilbert. And I have in my notes, the jury is paying rapt attention. I think I put that in X2. Talks about how Melanie is the only one who knew, which also is interesting when we get to Lori's opening statement and one of the objections to her opening statement. Remember the name Melanie, and I'm sure you guys did plenty of research on that leading up to the trial.
Yes, we did. And we counted the objections as you, per your request.
I lost track. I couldn't. It's like too many. I'm going to have someone else do it. I need an assistant.
Delegate.
Right. But one of the key phrases that I thought she made in her opening statement was that letting Alex take the Jeep to go get the windows tinted was the first act where she made a mistake, and she established premeditation and conspiracy in that one act of letting him go do that. I thought that was a pretty big statement.
Yeah.
And the jury was paying attention at that time. She talks about cell tower locations, burner phones, and a bunch of other stuff. I have in my notes, juror number 9, that's the guy in the top row, far right. Captain Jack started looking bored at 10:42. So that's 22 minutes in. He starts to get a little bored.
Okay.
He's fidgeting. He's taking a drink. And Trina K, I have in my notes, and you guys may have noticed, is stepping towards the microphone as she's describing it. She's stepping back. She's stepping forward. She's stepping back. So her voice gets louder and quieter and louder and quieter. And some of it is inaudible. And it's probably one of those subconscious things that she doesn't know she's doing, but it's kind of distracting too. At least it was for me. It was a little distracting. Didn't take away from what she was bringing forth in the opening arguments, but it was just distracting. I wonder what the jury thought about it. Yeah, at some point in time, jurors 9 and 16 also look bored. Oh, juror 9. We're back to juror 9. That's Captain Jack. I thought I didn't know this about Alex, Homer J. Maximus, Gmail address. He searched shooting ranges, trajectory, 3875 East Phelps Street, which is the location. And then he searched back roads on his way back to Idaho. I didn't know he searched all that. Did you? I didn't either.
Yeah,
I didn't either.
That was probably, I was gonna say, that's probably the one thing that I was like, oh, that's probably the one thing I didn't know.
That's pretty damning. That's pretty damning evidence.
Yeah.
I wonder if he searched it. I wonder if he searched it on his phone, and that's why Lori filed a motion to preclude stuff on his phone. Or I wonder if he searched it on his laptop. I don't see Alex as much of a computer guy. I see him more of a searching on his cell phone.
Right. Yeah. No. He doesn't. None of this crew seems like they're very tech savvy in that regard, like how to cover their tracks, if you will.
Oh, they did not.
Yeah, I'm just going through my notes, and I didn't. That was the one thing that jumped out at me, was that aspect. Everything else, I was like, okay, I knew all this other stuff based on the body cam footage of which they do. Well, no, they don't show it, but they play the 911 call, and his testimony at Lori's trial.
Right.
Well, no, he doesn't really. Yeah. No, I guess it's more the body cam. I guess it's the body cam I'm thinking about. So she talked for how long? What was your math on that? How long did Miss K talk? Sorry, you said she started. I'm sorry.
No, she started at 10:20, and actually didn't make my notes in there. Let me see if I put it on Twitter. 10:47. So her opening statement was 27 minutes.
Yeah, that is pretty short. All right, let me jot that down.
She was what? I think she was 45 minutes on her opening, maybe an hour, maybe even an hour on her opening, but 27 this time.
That's pretty well. I was going to say that's short, but think about it. Nobody died, which is thank God. It was only with Charles there was Tylee was there. Of course Lori was there. This one is just kind of cut and dry, where it's an attempted shooting, or it is a shooting. It's an attempted deletion, and it's really just Brandon. We don't know how many people were in that truck, so I can see it being a quicker trial. I can see it being a quicker opening statement. So,
yeah, I agree.
Yeah, the whole thing that Lori told Melanie that Brandon was gay and he hacked her computer. I mean, the poor guy, he's got 4 children. He's being told that he's gay. He's being shot at. His wife won't go with him to go visit, to the memorial or funeral of his grandfather who just had a heart attack and passed away. I mean, his world is just, and then he got emotional at one point. I mean, I just felt, well, I'm jumping ahead, but my heart really goes out to him. He really has gone through a lot,
Yeah, that was tough. And he got emotional on the stand. I mean,
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, this is his 3rd trial telling the same story, basically, or at least testifying against Lori and then Chad. This is the 3rd time. It's like, when will this man have peace? So.
Well, Lori's trying to take it away, and
Yep.
she gets up to do her little intro. Oh yeah, Salty. Yes,
What did Salty
Trina
say?
K did. They purchased the burner phone at Walmart. So Trina K actually brought that up in her opening statement. She said, his regular cell phone pinged around that Walmart where that burner phone was bought. So it's interesting to me that they didn't find the security footage from that Walmart, because she mentions, cell tower pings, but not, seen on camera, which she does about like the storage unit where they're seen, with that blue Hyundai or the blue Nissan, the Nissan Rogue. Yeah, Nissan Rogue. Right. Yeah. So you mentioned that was seen on camera. She didn't with Walmart. So maybe it was, Walmart didn't have that video anymore from that day when he bought the burner phone, because it was several months later after the incident when they went up to Rexburg and tracked all that stuff down.
Yeah.
All right.
I forgot about that, Sinbad. Yeah. And Brandon had to identify JJ. Then there's that.
Yes.
I forgot about that. On top of everything else, this poor guy then had to go ID. Oh my God. He deserves just some peace. He deserves some peace. So,
well, after this trial, I think he's going to get it. He's got a lot of support. I mean, having 16 members of your family show up to support you has got to be helpful.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. So, all right. So then defense, how long was Miss Esquire, Daybell Esquire's?
So 11 o'clock is when the state called Brandon Boudreaux. So that's 12 minutes, 13 minutes.
It was pretty quick. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. It was pretty quick.
14 at the most, because I have 10:47 is when Trina K wrapped up, and then I have 11:01 is when they called Brandon Boudreaux.
So 48 to 58 is 10, and then another 3. Yeah, say 12, 13 minutes. Okay.
Yep. Which is not quite as long as the first one either. But she got objected to multiple times.
I think we counted 11. I think we got 11 objections. Yeah, one was argument in an opening, improper. She talks about.
She talks about conspiracy in the Bible, and I'm like, are you saying that that's an excuse? Because she just mentions 2 parts of the Bible that mention conspiracy. So because conspiracy, well, there are a bunch of other horrible things that are in the Bible too. That just because they're in the Bible doesn't mean. I mean, gosh, I don't understand that logic, but that's one of many times.
Yep. Was anything jump out at you? I have a lot of notes, but we certainly don't have to read through every single one. Was there anything in specific that jumped out at you? Anything new that you?
No. I thought, okay, the body language of the jurors changed after a few minutes into her opening statement / arguments. People started to sit back a little bit. A couple of them folded their arms, and some of them had their head down like this. Like, are you serious? The one gal in the middle of the front row, though, was sitting up like this with her chin up and paying attention to her. She's got darker hair, younger, maybe 30-ish. She was paying more attention, and she had her chin up and not down, which is an indication of any number of things. I don't know what's going on in her head, and I'm not a body language expert, but it was more of a positive response than the people who sat back, folded their arms, and put their head down.
Right.
Which was a handful of them had different body language. And then when we got through like half of the objections, then you could tell that, well, first of all, you can tell that Judge Boreski has educated them on not showing facial expressions in the jury box, because that can be a bad thing. And actually, I've seen jurors admonished for that. Like, I think that went on in the Karen Reed case. I think jurors got in trouble for having too much reaction in the juror box.
Yes, they did. Yep.
So they're trying really hard not to show too much facial reaction, but you could tell after their body language changed again, a few of them after about half of the objections, and then after the other half of the objections, they were paying attention to those too. And I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they, because there are two trains of thoughts from that. You can either think that the state is bullying a witness who is a defendant who is defending herself and is not an attorney, or you can think this gal is just not all that versed and she maybe shouldn't be representing herself. I mean, that's about the two ways you can go with that.
Right. Her ending, I thought, was really nauseating with, what benefit was there? What malice? I love all people, including the state prosecutor. That got objected to. And then she says, I will continue to spread love after this.
Yes, she said, I'm all about spreading love and I will continue to do so after this trial.
Yeah. Like, to me, that was just like, dude, really? It's like, how did you react to that?
If this is her version of spreading love, then I want to be as far away from her as possible.
Yeah. That was just, I can only imagine everybody that loved Tammy, JJ, Tylee, Charles just was like, are you kidding me? This is you spreading love?
Right. Yeah. And one of the other big statements in there that got my attention that was objected to, and I think officially stricken from the record, but it's in my head, and the jurors heard it too. And sometimes as a juror, you can't unhear that. You can't unring the bell. Yeah. That Melanie Boudreaux was listed by the state as a co-conspirator, but has never been charged.
Yes, she said that. That was Lori said that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And Trina Kay objected to it and said, move to have stricken. And I don't remember if the judge said, yeah, that should be stricken from the record. No, what he said was, jurors, I will talk to you later about this, and I will give you instructions on how to handle this type of a situation with. And then later on, he said, opening statements are not evidence. They're not testimony.
Yep.
They're just opening statements.
I think he said that often. I feel like he said he would give them instructions often, meaning there was at least 3 or 4 objections that he said, I'll give you instructions on that.
Yes.
Because we're going to hear Melanie Boudreaux's name. Melanie, we're going to hear her name. Well, we already have heard her name a lot, so we will probably continue to hear her name. So it's going to be like same with Al. Well, I was going to say same with Alex, but Lori already said he's not going to testify because he passed away. So she's already said that.
Who was that about?
Lori said that about Alex. She said we're not going to hear from Alex. Was a comedian. Brandon and Alex had a great relationship until this. Alex was a comedian. He passed away, so he won't be here.
I missed that.
That was objected
to. Yeah.
That was objected to. Yep. Yeah. So that's out there. And then right after that, several co-conspirators. I'm the only one charged with this crime. That must have been when she mentioned Melanie's name. That was objected to. That's bordering on argument. Yeah. So those two were right next to each other. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
She's just
yeah, she is. She's going to try and get away with as much as she can.
Yep. Yeah. From natural causes. Yeah.
Yeah. Did she say that she passed away of natural causes?
I think so. Yeah. Yeah. That's what Lily Wen just said.
Ooh. Yeah. Oh my gosh. How did I miss that? Probably because my brain is distracted in 3 different directions.
Yeah. Well, she was talking fairly quickly, but not so fast that I wasn't able to get most stuff down. But I found this, her questioning of during cross, I was able to get a lot better notes. Excuse me. Whereas the first time she was just like, boom, boom, boom. She was just firing off questions. I thought that this go around, she was talking a little bit slower. So.
Right. That's because she has a headache, I'm sure.
Right.